Dad said it like weather talk. Calm, casual, final. We're taking your office space. Hi, I'm Maya, 26, a web developer, the girl who fixes everything, the girl they think will bend forever. My fork paused mid-air. Ethan smirked over his soda. Mom said his followers needed room, all 38 of them. I kept my voice steady. Sure, I'll clear it tomorrow. But something folded inside me. 3 years of late nights, 60-hour weeks in that garage, every invoice, every client, every dream, all dismissed in one sentence. I stared at my plate, breathing slow. No anger, no scene, just a quiet shift in gravity. They thought I'd argue. They thought I'd fold. They didn't see the door opening behind me. They thought I'd move to the basement. I was already choosing another address. Before we go further, let me know where you're watching Echoes of Life from. I love seeing how far these stories reach. People think the garage was just a room. It wasn't. It was the only place in that house where I existed as myself. Every late invoice sent, every bug fixed at 2 a.m., every contract that kept their lights on. But this wasn't new. It started years earlier. When I was 16, I saved months for a laptop. Ethan got a brand new iPhone because kids need one. I worked 2 campus jobs in college. Ethan failed community college twice. They blamed his professors, not his effort. When the furnace died last winter, I paid $200. They called me a blessing, then forgot. When Dad's transmission blew, I covered $1,800. He said he'd get me back soon. He never did. When Mom's car stalled on the freeway, I fixed it myself. She thanked me with leftovers. I told myself it was family. I told myself they needed me, but the truth was simpler. I was the child expected to hold the roof up. Ethan was the child expected to shine. They celebrated his C-. They shrugged at my honor roll. They excused his chaos. They counted on my stability. Every time I swallowed the hurt, I told myself it didn't matter. But hurt doesn't disappear. It just waits. It waits through holidays, through late nights, through years of being the reliable one. By the time Dad said, "We're taking your office," he wasn't stealing a room. He was confirming something I had feared. My needs were optional. Ethan's were law, and once you see that truth, you can't unsee it. This wasn't about losing a garage. It was about losing every quiet yes I'd ever given. The morning after that dinner, I sat in my car, engine off, hands cold around the steering wheel, just breathing, just thinking. Bay Area rent was brutal. Everyone knew that, but so was staying. Staying meant shrinking. So I opened the rental app and started scrolling. Studio in Oakland, 500 square FT, old kitchen, decent light, enough room for my desk, and peace. One day after a month, first, last, and deposit up front, 550 total. I had 800 saved. Not enough for comfort, enough for freedom. I emailed the landlord, Janet, with my credit score and contracts. She replied in an hour, "Available today. Come see it." I drove there before doubt could catch me. The place was small but steady. No mildew, no shouting, no door opening without knocking. Just a quiet window and a worn floor that didn't need anything from me. "I'll take it," I said. My voice didn't even shake. Back home, I didn't announce anything. I just changed my behavior. Tiny adjustments, tiny rebellions. On Tuesday, I bought only milk and bread. Not the usual full groceries. Mom blinked at the bag, confused. "Budget's tight," I said, and walked away. When the Wi-Fi dropped, I didn't reset the router. When Dad yelled about the printer, I didn't fix it. When Ethan asked for a ride, I sipped my coffee. "Bus is right there," I said. He stared like I'd spoken another language. The house ran on my invisible labor. Once I withdrew it, the system sputtered. At night, I moved my valuables to the studio, a few boxes at a time. Laptop, contracts, notebooks, tools, the things I'd built my life on. The things no one would miss until they were gone. By Thursday, the lawn was overgrown, the sink full, the Wi-Fi unstable. Mom stressed. Dad irritated. Ethan confused. The machine was breaking down and I was becoming light, untethered, quietly untangling myself from years of expectation. Every spreadsheet in my head kept updating itself. Rent here, deposit there. Hours of unpaid chores back on their side of the ledger. For once, the math wasn't against me. It was finally telling me to go. They didn't notice the distance growing. They only noticed the chores. They didn't see the boxes missing. They only saw the lawn. They didn't see me leaving. Not yet. By the time they noticed the cracks, Most of my life was already gone. Before we continue, if this were your family and you were listening with me on Echoes of Life, what would you do? Comment 1. To keep peace quietly. Comment 2. To ask for proof, even in public. The real break came the next afternoon. Dad stepped into the garage with a tape measure. Hey, quick thing, he said. I sold your workbench. Guys picking it up tomorrow. Everything inside me went quiet. You sold my workbench? I repeated. The one I built with my money. He winced but kept going. Well, Ethan needs a real streaming desk. You're moving to the basement anyway. There it was. Finally, honest. My labor and tools, community property, my needs optional. You'll get some, he added quickly. I'll give you 100. Split it. 100 for my hours and my back. Keep it, I said. Call it another investment in Ethan's career. When he left, I grabbed my phone, opened the moving app, booked a U-Haul for Saturday morning. $60 click. That night, I pulled my suitcase from under the bed, packed clothes instead of spare routers and cables. What's going on, Maya? Dad asked from the doorway. I folded a shirt, then another. I'm moving out tomorrow, I said. Moving where? Why didn't you tell us? I signed the lease last week. I'm telling you now. That's ridiculous, he snapped. You're overreacting. We're family. You have space in the basement. Family is leash. Basement is gratitude. I walked past him to the kitchen, pulled a sheet from the printer tray, grabbed a marker. Across the top I wrote Maya's contributions last 12 months. Rent and utilities a little over $12,000. Groceries almost $5,000. Repairs and tech support another $7,000. Total roughly $24,800. Underneath I added one more line. Ethan's contributions, 0. Attitude, priceless. I slapped it on the fridge. Mom walked in, read it, went pale. It hasn't been that much, she whispered. Check my bank statements, I said. I kept every receipt. Dad read it twice, color draining. The furnace wasn't that expensive, he tried. $2,700, I answered. You promised to pay me back when things eased up. I'm not here to fight about money, I said quietly. I'm just done pretending this is fair. What about the internet? The streaming? Your brother needs it for his channel, Mom asked. I canceled the internet yesterday, I said. My name comes off the utilities Monday. Silence filled the kitchen. No Wi-Fi, no streaming. Saturday morning, the U-Haul filled the driveway. I carried boxes past them. Steady, finished, gone. Mom cried. Dad accused. Ethan clutched his useless ring light. I didn't shout. I didn't list every slight. I just shut the truck door and turned the key. In the side mirror, they looked suddenly small. A house full of people who finally had to meet their own bills. When the house finally went cold, they felt a fraction of what I had. The first week in my studio was shockingly quiet. No, Maya. The Wi-Fi is down. No. Can you look at my car? No. Your brother needs a ride. Just my desk by the window, my contracts, my coffee, my life. On day 2, Mom texted about the internet. It's not working. Did you really cancel it? I watched the bubbles appear, then disappear. For once, silence felt like an answer. Day 3, Dad called. The hot water heater is making a noise. YouTube has tutorials, I said. Welcome to home ownership. By day 10, the real call came. The furnace quit, he said, voice tight. It's freezing. We don't have money for a repair visit. Of course they didn't. Their emergency fund had always been me. What's the error code on the panel? I asked. He read it slowly. I pulled the manual up on my laptop. It's the igniter, I said. Parts about 95. Labor will cost more. He went straight to the old script. Can't you just come fix it? I looked around my warm, paid-for apartment, my name on every bill, my work on every wall. I can, I said. But there are conditions. He went quiet. Conditions? I'll fix it once, I said. After that, we sit down as a family. We open the numbers. Real budget, real responsibilities, and Ethan starts contributing. Job, rent, chores. He hesitated. Pride wrestling with cold air. Deal, he said finally. At the house, the furnace took an hour. New igniter in. Heat back on. When Mom started thanking me, I held up a hand. Kitchen table, I said, bring your bills. We spread everything out. Mortgage, utilities, groceries, streaming services, every line they'd quietly slid onto me. This is what it actually costs to live here, I said. This is how much I've been filling in. Ethan rolled his eyes. This is dramatic. This is math, I replied. I turned to him. You start paying rent $250 a month. You get a job within 4 weeks. Real paycheck. You mow the lawn. You learn basic repairs with Dad. That's not fair, he snapped. I don't have money. That's why people work. I said streaming is a hobby until it pays bills. I waited for Dad to rescue him to play the old song. Instead, Dad rubbed his face inside. Your sister's right, Ethan, he said. Things have to change. The look on Ethan's face was pure betrayal. For once, not directed at me. I gathered the stack of printed statements, tapped them into a neat pile. I'm not cutting off love, I said. I'm cutting off unlimited access. I stopped being their safety net and started charging like everyone else. 6 months later, my old house felt like a different planet. The lawn was trimmed. The porch light worked. We had a rule now. Once a month dinner, no surprise repair requests, no since you're here favors. Mom opened the door, eyes already softer. The kitchen smelled like dinner, not crisis. The sink wasn't overflowing. The Wi-Fi light was steady. During dessert, Dad cleared his throat, pulled an envelope from his wallet. Inside was $500 in careful bills. It's a start, he said. We'll keep paying you back every month. No more when things ease up. Something in my chest loosened. Not erased, but finally named. Ethan got promoted, Mom added. Shift lead at the warehouse. Ethan shrugged, cheeks pink. It's just more work, he muttered. Barely more money. Welcome to adulthood, I said without venom. When the dishwasher groaned mid-cycle, everyone looked at me. Old reflex. I stayed in my chair. Dad turned to Ethan instead. Can you check that tomorrow? Ethan nodded like he'd been doing it for months. Later that week, my phone buzzed. Got a bonus? Ethan texted, sending $300 for the bike. I was a dick, sorry. The money hit my account with a tiny note. For the bike, it wasn't the amount, it was the accountability. I still keep boundaries. I don't lend money. I don't rush to rescue. I visit as a daughter, not infrastructure. Sometimes the kindest thing you can do is walk away. Not to punish, but to stop protecting people from themselves. Leaving didn't end my family. It ended their habit of living on my back. If this story on Echoes of Life resonated, please like the video, share it with someone exhausted, and subscribe to stay for the next.